Some of the most useful and time-saving features in Excel are the options to link data across worksheets. I'm Dawn Bjork, the Software Pro. I'm also a Microsoft Certified Trainer and Certified Excel Expert. In this online training, we'll focus on how to link several worksheets together within one Excel workbook. Do you have a workbook with related data, such as separate worksheets for individual months or different locations? How do you create a summary of these detailed worksheets? The most common type of link in Excel is also the easiest. That is a reference to a value in a different worksheet within the same single workbook. Here's an example. In this workbook, we have individual worksheets for each of the states. To be able to easily track this information without having to navigate to each one of those worksheets, we'll create a summary of that data. Now, linking is a lot easier than often we will hear. In this case, I want to see the total for Texas. And I'll start as we would with any other formula, and that is with an equals. Next, we'll navigate to Texas, and then specifically to where that total exists. Now, we could add a lot more to this. That is, this could be a calculation with multiple cells. But if I simply want to see this total, all I need to do is hit enter. That's it. So now we have this total, and it will update as this information changes. Let's look at what we just created here. In the cell, the reference is equal to the worksheet. So we see the tab name, the worksheet name, Texas, exclamation, and then the cell where that data resides. Now, should we insert additional rows, this will update just as any other formula would. Let's try this again. Now I want to display the total for the Colorado data. I can do it the same way as before, but we'll put a little bit of a twist on this, and that is we'll start with once again with equals and then sum. Next, we'll navigate to Colorado. Even though we have a total, there might be times when you don't, or you want to perform a different calculation. In this case, I'll simply highlight the range of values that represent that total, and then complete with an enter. So I still have a total that will update as this information updates. Notice once again that the reference is to that worksheet name. So the worksheet name, exclamation, and then the range of values. Let's repeat this for the next two states. We'll simply do an equal to, reference the total in that specific worksheet. Now let's explore something that happened here with the New Mexico reference. Notice those single quotes. In Excel, we'll see the single quotes around any reference where there are spaces in that name. This is called a character string. This is how we refer to it either manually or how Excel created it for us to ensure that this all stays together. That is one of the advantages that we have by using the pointing method. That is where we simply click to and navigate to that location, is Excel helps us to build these formulas. And so although we could have typed all of this out directly, it's a big time saver for us to have Excel help us out. There's nothing wrong with this. In fact, all the other entries could also be surrounded by those quotation marks, but they would not be necessary unless that worksheet reference or name changes. Now, of course, we could total this, and I'll do so using a quick keyboard shortcut, and that is Alt and the equals key. You might know that as a keyboard shortcut that automatically builds our sum function for us. And we don't have to make any updates to it because Excel captures the closest range, which happens to be correct, and so I simply hit enter to accept that. And that's all we need to do to create links within one workbook between the different worksheets in that workbook. Although we don't need it for this project, Let's look at one other thing that we can do here as well. And that is we can create calculations between the different worksheets. So just to give you that as a reference, I'll just move over here. And I want to create a calculation that adds the values in Texas and Colorado together. So to do that, I'll simply do an equals. Now I know I have these values right here in the sheet, but maybe I'm in a different location. I don't have that available to me. So we'll start it once again with that pointing method. We'll go to Texas. Here's the total. And now I'll add a plus. And now navigate to Colorado. Select the total and hit enter. So there we have that total, or that calculation, where we're adding those two values together. Even though it isn't required or needed for this particular workbook, I wanted you to be able to see that there's a lot of flexibility about how we do the calculations. You're already likely building lots and lots of calculations and formulas. The only difference here is that the source, the information, is simply stored somewhere else besides the current active workbook. Now, should our data update in any way, so for instance, we insert new information, I'll move here to the Texas sheet and I'll insert a new row. And let's just say that we have some new information here. I'll copy this down. And so I've got some new data. And for expediency, I'll simply enter this in, and I'll copy from the previous cell above that. A quick keyboard shortcut for that would be Control-D for duplicate. And so now this has updated our total. We have added some more information to this. This also could happen if we change the actual data within this. But when we come back to the summary, that information has also updated. Now you've seen how to link multiple worksheets together within one Excel workbook. For more tips on being productive with Excel, head to thesoftwarepro.com/Excel. If this online training was helpful, please like and comment on this video and subscribe to this channel. This is Dawn Bjork, the Software Pro. Thanks for watching.